The second guy we're going to talk about is headed over to Virginia by means of Northwestern, a guy that, if you want to talk about terrible takes in the history of the show, the terrible take of mine saying that Malik Washington wasn't going to have a huge impact on this Virginia team was an absolutely horrendous take. Malik Washington was a stud this year, and he does everything right, by the way, too. It's not just he's really good receiving back, or sorry, really good receiver after the catch. Okay, he blocks very well. He's not like huge. Like I think I compared him to like a bowling ball preseason this past year. Like that's what his frame is. I mean, he's like 5'8", like 190 pounds, kind of big. I mean, there are other guys of similar stature that we'll be talking about here in just a minute, but yeah, Malik Washington, I don't think that he's limited to the slot, even though he's really small. Like he's physical enough to where he could play outside, I think. But you like a guy that just has mega production, a lot of versatility, um, good testing numbers. His RAS score is 8.51, and his film is solid, man. Like his only downside is his size. Am I right?
Yeah, no, his hands are great. I like this catching traffic when I was watching his film. Even like his feel for zone, and then especially in scramble draw. I mean, you're watching Virginia, you know exactly what Calandria brings to your team. You're going to be in scramble draw a lot, and that happens in the NFL too. But he had great feel, moving around, making himself available, which is a really underrated trait. And especially if you're a guy who's going to be, maybe not now for wide receiver, especially early in your career, where you might not be the primary option. But when the play breaks down and the quarterback has to get to your read, and you have to make a move and make yourself available for him, that can be some really nice value. And I think teams can appreciate that. Yeah, why is he a day three guy? I mean, not the elite size you want, right? Not even good size, right? But I think his play strength just makes up for that too, because he doesn't get pushed around. No, and in the ACC, he had some good corners. He did not get pushed around at all. He's not an elite lead athlete. Yes, his testing numbers are good. But like the 4.47, I was expecting just maybe a low 4.5. I thought he kind of got chased down a couple times when he was running down, being run down by some defensive backs. And also, this is just a deep wide receiver draft, so like they're gonna push guys down, maybe because in other drafts, maybe that they're an early day three, day two guy, but just because you have so many guys in this draft, you're just naturally gonna see guys get pushed down later and get some value with that. Yeah, no, Malik Washington is awesome. Like you said, we owe him a huge apology. But to be honest, I think that bowling ball description is almost good. Like it's hard to tackle. Right, he doesn't get knocked off balance very easily. I mean, he's rocked up, right? I mean, pause, but he's rocked up for a guy
Yes.
of that size. And I don't know, I love it. Malik Washington production, feel for the game. I love it. And special teams too. He adds high value as well. And so, what's not to like there? Day three.
Yeah, PFF has him ranked behind guys like Anais Smith, Brendan Rice, Jacob Cowling, Malachi Corley, Jamari Thrash. I think you could argue Malik Washington is better than all of those guys. Of course, the other guys have more size, but even Anais Smith, it's pretty similar build to Malik Washington. I guess you look at Anais Smith and you see special teams value there. Malik Washington, man, like, sorry, I'll let you take over right now. Whoa.
Yeah, you could. I will say you mentioned Malik Corley. That's an interesting like comp within the draft class. Malik Corley is a guy that came in a little bit shorter than maybe he was hoping to. He's a little bit bigger than Malik Washington, and people love him for his run after the catch and his almost Debo Samuel type role he can craft in the NFL. And everyone's trying to find that guy. Malik Washington to me is a guy that is almost like if you want to get Malachi Corley in the third round, you might as well wait and get Malik Washington in the fifth. And because to me the production's there. Anything you want to do, whether it's like screens or run him out of the backfield or whatever it is, slants and then check down routes, whatever it may be, motion, get him the ball in his hands and then let him create after the catch. And he's so dynamic with it, and you saw that in a lot of his tape as well.
Yeah, dude, those scrappy kids from Georgia, man. That that's what you get, man. That's what you get. I think he was 3-star out of high school. I think he played quarterback in high school. I could be wrong about that. I could be wrong about that, but regardless, he's a really good athlete and he's highly underrated. And I think that if teams need a receiver late, also too, I could see Malik Washington being good on special teams. Like, couldn't you? Like, he's a smart player. Like,
He
that's what
he
you
he
need.
he returned some kicks for Virginia this year. And also, real quick, if you're into advanced stats and all this stuff, like in terms of missed tackles forced, it's kind of a tough stat to really um, track and keep track. But he was 35. He was 35. He was first for wide receivers in the country. To me, very telling. Elite run after catch. That shows and translates to the film.
Absolutely. 100%.